Hey, what's poppin', everybody? Let's go ahead and get into it today. Let's go ahead and recap Wednesday, November 23rd, because that was the last time that we did an NBA video. So let's go ahead and get into that recap. Another 2-in-1 day for us right here. The only one ended up missing for us was Josh Hart, man. Holy mackerel! Let me just reiterate the stats behind Josh Hart again. He had hit the over 4 assists 1 out of his last 7 games. He had gone under 6 out of his last 7. The Cleveland Cavaliers in their last 10 games had only allowed a small forward to go over that total once. Josh Hart damn near had his career high. He had 9 assists. I mean, he had more assists than he had points and rebounds. I don't know what else to say there. That's just probably the second worst bet that I've ever placed. You guys remember, probably most of you won't, but earlier this summer when I was doing baseball videos to keep the channel popping, I did a bet on an under on a guy's strikeouts. His name was Spencer Strider, the Atlanta Braves pitcher. Took his under, and it was like 6.5 strikeouts or something like that. He ended up breaking the Atlanta Braves strikeout record and threw like 16 or something like that. And I took his under. So that's like right up there with probably the second worst bet I've ever placed. Josh Hart literally doubled his line, just like Spencer Strider did that day, he doubled his line. So yeah, bad bet there with Josh Hart. He ended up just going completely against the numbers there, but that does happen sometimes. I thought I definitely found a little bit of a hidden gem with that play, but it didn't work out for us. And it ended up being our only miss too, because the lock of the day, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander did his thing, hit his line pretty easily. And Jordan Clarkson, despite kind of not the way I planned that game to go out, he ended up hitting his line, did Josh Hart. So we'll go ahead and take that another 2-in-1 day. That puts us on an 11-3-1 run. So we're still red hot right now. We just need to connect on a sweep. I think the channel record for sweeps in a month is 5, I believe. So one more sweep here and we break the record, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go ahead and get into it today. We've got 3 plays today with a possibility of a 5 slip coming up by the end of the day. So let's get into it today. Real quick, if you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, in the link down in the description below, I have a link that takes you straight to the App Store where you can download Underdog Fantasy, because you're going to want to hop in on the action this year. They have added a whole bunch of new features to Underdog Fantasy this year. Starting with the brand new insurance feature, okay? This insurance feature is a new thing that has been super requested for the fans and the customers of Underdog Fantasy. Essentially, all you do is you click insurance right here. And if you can see right there, all you have to do is hit 4 of these picks to win, but the value does drop down. So if you turn off the insurance, you do a $10 bet, you obviously get $200. And if you turn on the insurance feature, it drops down a multiplier down to 10. But if you miss one of these picks, say, Jameis Winston gets hurt or something, he doesn't end up throwing 2 touchdown passes. But everybody else hits, like Lamar, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and Justin Jefferson. All these guys hit. You still hit the slip. You just get it for $100. Just goes down a multiplier, which is a huge feature a lot of people have been asking for, so they received it. Also, they have added second half lines now to games. Obviously, it is on. There is nothing up because there's no NFL second half games, but they have added NFL second half. So just like for the Thursday night game, I'll throw up that clip right here. Thursday night, they dropped all the second half lines for that Thursday night game between the Bills and the Rams. They've added a bunch of new features this year. They're trying to improve to get the app better for you guys. Also, when you sign up, if you use code TAKEMYSHOT, you'll get $100 match, up to $100 match and 100% deposit match on your first time deposit. So if you do that, you can deposit $50 to get an extra $50, $20 to get an extra $20. Whole lot of stuff coming with Underdog Fantasy this year. Make sure you sign up with code TAKEMYSHOT. Now let's get to today's bets. Okay, coming in hot with today's lock of the day. Now, we're really up in the air between 2 guys here. I'm going to go ahead and go with, we're going to go with the New Orleans Pelicans today. We're going to go with Brandon Ingram with over 28.5 points and assists. Now, hear me out on this one. I'm going to go with points and assists, but I think you guys could honestly play both. I think you can play points and assists, and I think you can play his assists. I think his assist is going to absolutely crush it. But I'm going to go with points and assists just to stay close, to be careful on this one, because I think this game is going to be really close, and I think he's going to have the chance to really crush it with both his points and assists. Now, last game versus the Spurs, the Pelicans were without CJ McCollum. He's on health and safety protocols, if I'm not mistaken. He led the way for the Pelicans with usage and assist usage, so he led about 33% of their offense for the Pelicans. So, well over 25%, which is a really good amount for an individual player to do. So, what I'm thinking is going to happen here is that Brandon Ingram is going to be the primary ball handler both in the pick and roll for assist usage and as being just the primary scorer for them. Obviously, Zion Williamson can be that at times, but I'm looking for Brandon Ingram to be more of a primary ball handler. The ball is in his hands for the majority of offensive possession. So I think he's going to crush both his points and his assists tonight. So I'm just going to combine them both. Now, this game should stay close between these two. These are 2 of the most competitive teams out west. Now, the way that this went last time, it was a very close game between these two teams last time. Stayed within 9, but it was a lot closer than that. Just the Memphis Grizzlies went ice cold in the fourth quarter. They only had 15 points, so they kind of got ice cold there in that fourth quarter, and it pulled away just a little bit. In that game, C.J. McCollum is the primary ball handler, primary usage rate, had 30 points on 23 shots and had 9 assists. So he had 39 points and assists in that matchup. Brandon Ingram, as the second most usage and the second most primary ball handler in that game, had 19 and 2. So he had 21 points and assists in that one. To think that C.J. McCollum not playing in this game will now be filled by the void of Brandon Ingram, I think you can also put up a very similar stat line to what C.J. McCollum did, around 30 and 9 kind of range. Sorry, baby, started crying right there. So last thought there was that C.J. McCollum, it's fair to think that Brandon Ingram here is going to fill the void for what C.J. McCollum did that last game. Should be a very high-paced, competitive, high-scoring game between these two teams. So I anticipate Brandon Ingram to be the beneficiary on both points and assists in this one. So give me Brandon Ingram as a lock of the day today, over 28.5 points and assists in this one. All right, next up we're going to go with Domantas Sabonis over 11.5 rebounds versus the Boston Celtics. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Latham, 7.5 point spread. Celtics are going to run the Kings out the gym. False, false, false. The Kings, as an underdog against the spread this season, are 8-2. Only losing against the spread twice this season in both those games. It was like a 10-point loss and then like a 15-point loss to somebody. So they keep games close, even as massive underdogs, as which they are tonight. I guess I wouldn't say a massive underdog, it's only 7.5. In 2022, against the Boston Celtics, Domantas Sabonis had some pretty gigantic games. He had 22 boards in one game. Then he had, I don't know what happened in this game. I don't know what happened. He just didn't get rebounds in this game. But he had 22 rebounds in their first matchup, 6 boards, and then 20 rebounds. That 20 rebound game was a member of the Sacramento Kings versus Boston. In that game, the Kings actually got blown out. They got blown out of the water, but he still managed to get 20 boards in that one. So it's fair to think tonight that Domantas Sabonis can have a very big game. He has hit this line over 11.5 rebounds 5 out of his last 10 games. He's also hit it 3 straight times. The reason why I'm really going after this line, not only because Domantas has had a lot of success in the past versus the Celtics give up the second most rebounds in the NBA to centers. And you look at the last couple of games for them recently, not just on the entirety of the season, right? They've obviously struggled on the entirety of the season to give up rebounds. But recently, Christian Wood with 12 boards, Nikola Vucevic with 13 boards. And then the last couple of games, when you're talking about recently, they were still blowouts. So in a blowout, Jonas Valanciunas only got 4. And then in a blowout versus the Atlanta Hawks, Clint Capella had 8, but only in 18 minutes. And Jonas had 4 in 21 minutes. So if those guys would have got normal minutes, they probably would have been able to crush those kind of lines. So I'm liking Domantas Sabonis tonight over 11.5 rebounds versus the second worst rebounding team in the league, the centers in the Boston Celtics. As long as this game doesn't get too out of hand, right, as the Celtics don't turn into the best three-point shooting team of all time tonight, I think Domantas Sabonis will grab 11.5 rebounds tonight. So give me Domantas Sabonis over 11.5 boards. All right, in our last play of the day, we're going to head over to probably the most surprising game of the day. Vegas is giving these guys mad credit this season recently, and I'm down for it. I guess I'm down for it. We're gonna head over to the Chicago-Oklahoma City Thunder game, which only sits at a 2.5 point spread. And actually earlier this morning it was a 1.5 point spread, and there wasn't a favorite. Now the Thunder have slightly slid into an underdog range, but still sitting at just a 2.5 point spread and a 232 total. We're gonna head over to Nikola Vucevic over 11.5 rebounds. Obviously, one of the best rebounders in the NBA, taking on one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA in the Oklahoma City Thunder. In both of his matchups last year, he actually just had gigantic games. He had 26 and 15 and 31 and 15. I'm going to lead just to go towards the rebounds. I don't think you can go wrong either way with points or rebounds. It sits at 28.5. Crushed it in both games with almost just his points alone last year in both games. Thunder, we've talked about it a lot last year. Even this year, though, they're not as bad as they were a year ago, but still ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th, and giving up the most rebounds in the NBA. Vucevic, one of the most elite rebounders in the NBA, showed it last game when he took on, or excuse me, not last game. Last game he took on the Bucks. The game before that, he took on the Boston Celtics, who are the second worst rebounding team in the NBA. So he's shown a lot of success in the past versus them this season, versus this Thunder in the past seasons, and has also showed that he's a very good rebounder against bad rebounding teams. So give me Nikola Vucevic today over 11.5 rebounds as our third play of the day today. All right, with that being said, guys, that's going to be today's perfect 3-slip. The lock of the day, Brandon Ingram over 28.5 points and assists. Give me Domantas Sabonis over 11.5 rebounds. And we're going to go Nikola Vucevic over 11.5 rebounds as well tonight. I think you can go with points and rebounds for Nikola Vucevic. Same with Ingram. I think you can go just assists or points and assists. I don't think you can go wrong either way with those two guys. So that's going to be today's perfect 3-slip. Again, I'm going to say this again. I'm going to drop a 5 slip most likely by the end of the day, as long as nothing crazy goes down at work. Last time I said I was going to drop a 5 slip, then a bunch of injuries happened, and I also got super busy at work and wasn't able to put one together. So this time, as long as I don't get super busy at work, I'm going to try to throw together a 5 slip for you guys. So with that being said, that's going to be today's perfect 3 slip. All right, I'm feeling it tonight, boys. I am feeling the record-breaking sweep tonight. We are going for 6 sweeps on the month, which would be an all-time record for the channel. I can feel it. I can feel it. Tonight's going to be one of those nights. We were on a pretty good run after a rough week last week. We are on an 11-3-1 run right now, so I'm feeling pretty good. Just need to connect just need all 3 to connect, all 3 to play out as they should. And with that being said, guys, I will go ahead and catch you tomorrow. Peace.